Good day, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching this program. Welcome to the show where Shesight introduces you to amazing, wonderful women personalities across the globe. And today I have a wonderful scientist with me. Well, if I ask you a question, name a woman scientist. I know most of you will talk about Mary Curie, Madame Curie. That's the only name probably that comes to our mind immediately. And she's, of course, a physicist as well as the Nobel Prize winner, both in physics and chemistry. She's definitely an inspiring person. And imagine there are thousands and millions of such women across the globe, but many of them we probably do not know much, right? So that's the reason why Shesight has launched this special series of She Scientist. So in this episode, we have a wonderful woman scientist. She is from Sweden, but she's currently at Stanford University as a postdoctoral researcher. Her field is really fascinating. That's what we are going to learn more today. And what's more exciting about her is that she's not just a scientist who sits in the lab always, but also she is equally engaged in promoting the cause of STEM education among girls, as well as she's also, she's also has been a military person. Let's get to know more about this wonderful personality with us today. She is Enkeleda Balliu. Welcome to the show, Enkeleda.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, scientists generally feel embarrassed about whenever we introduce, but then you guys are the superhero of the world, if you ask me. You people are producing technology which impacts the lives of people, and that's precisely what I want you to talk more today and inspire young girls out there with your perspectives as well as your life journey. So let's get started. I would like you to start off with how you became a scientist.
Thank you. Becoming a scientist and a researcher has been new for me. I haven't a well-defined idea when I was a little kid, of course, but I was super curious and I wanted every time the why. And I loved science, I love technology, and I wanted to explore more about that. So that's why I started doing my studies in electronic engineering. And I become, the more the time passed, the more I was involved and loved the field. So yeah, that's how it begins.
Yeah, but do you have any is there any turning point in your life?
I was born in Albania, and I had always this feeling of hope and interested to develop myself and to enrich my skills. So that exploring and enriching the qualities, that brings me more comfortable to the science and to the STEM. And I pursued first simultaneously with my study the military academy in Italy. And after 5 years of the military training, I decided that my heart was more toward research than towards the military training. So that was a turning point for me. I started to work as a researcher assistant at Polytechnic of Turin. And that bring me to move to Sweden when I continue as a research assistant and then pursue my PhD studies. And that gave me the possibility to be here now at Stanford. So, yeah.
That's great. That's fascinating. Well, we didn't talk about what exactly you are researching in. I mean, your field and what is the significance of your field and what do you think or what is the impact that you want to create out of your research?
Yeah, thank you for the question. My research field is in laser technology. Now I have the possibility to be here at Stanford, and I'm honored and I have the privilege to be part of Professor Michel Ligonnet group. And specifically here, I will be focused on researching on anti-Stux fluorescence cooling, and with the final aim to develop radiation balanced lasers. if this sounds very abstract, I would say in a few words that is the most compact and sustainable way to develop lasers with very unaccepted, unprecedented characteristics with a very high stability and coherence. And the fascinating and the beauty of the research that I do, that I can use, is on laser technologies that can be applied everywhere. It can be applied in medicine, in industrial application, military application, wherever. So that is the same nearly with STEM. STEM is everywhere. It feels sometimes that it's very narrow, very few people do it, but it's everywhere. If you have the patient in medical application, then you can be in STEM and take your knowledge and contribute to that. So you can be in every field, even with being in STEM.
Yes. Something that brings me to the next question. As you said, STEM education or STEM is important in every aspect of our life. However, when it comes to girls and women, this is still, I would say, a challenge or a difficulty, to reach or pursue STEM education. I think it also starts with childhood stereotyping. Even a small girl, when she is mostly encouraged to choose arts and social science or some other subjects, and science and engineering still becomes not something which the girls pursue. And I think it starts with the general stereotyping that maths is not good for girls. What do you want to say about that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like those kind of myths or like barrier that we see. Few female attracted to STEM just because STEM is pursued as something very difficult, impossible, these super difficult questions. But STEM is not like that. STEM is like you need to find the most simplest solution in order to pursue your goals. You need to see a complex problem into very simple steps. So, and in the same time, it's not. Yes, of course, it's a male dominated field, but there are women. So you can be part of the STEM. You can love whatever field of life, like medicine or fashion. STEM can contribute on that. We have advantages in shoes design because of STEM, because of technology. So you can be a woman and be comfortable with that, and or whatever you feel you are very welcome. And the important thing I think is that being in STEM, you need to be curious and believe in who you are. Afterwards, then you will get to your goals, even if you love fashion, even if you are in high heels. Like STEM people are not just males or like these ugly scientists. So it's like prejudice, I would say. And the more we have role models, the more we have diversity in STEM, I think the more females will join STEM. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's precisely why we are doing this interview as well, to create more role models for the next generation. Probably when I grew up, of course, I did my basic graduation in science. Okay, I did a chemistry graduation. While I was doing it, unfortunately, those days, all the scientists the names that we read, it's all men. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, the only woman scientist probably the name which I have come across during my early formation years would be that of Marie Curie.
Yeah, that was what I also missed during my education. I missed the mentoring at all levels. Nowadays, now that I'm a researcher, I can see more role models. I can see more female professors. I can see more female deans. But when I was a student, I was missing that. And in Sweden, where I pursued my PhD studies, then we have mentoring in all the levels, mentoring in a student level. So that will help a lot. I really encourage that to be to increase in the near future.
Exactly. I think the presence of role models is one of the easiest at the same time the most important step towards diversity in the STEM. Now that brings me to another question. What are the challenges that women or generally women scientists face? Of course, I have to quote Mary Curie. I watched her the biography movie which was released, Madame Curie's biography. In that movie, if you watch, we will realize the kind of um, what do you call patriarchy or the male power in all domains of science as well as in research, and she literally has to fight with the odds of all of that, to actually come out with her name as well as her recognition and everything. Do you think scenarios has changed now, or do you believe that this has to change more to better, where women scientists are recognized and rewarded equally?
That the females encounters in the STEM fields can be many, but personally, I have experience. It depends on who you are. All the challenges as an opportunity. I see now we have more opportunity, more space for our voice to be heard, and being fewer people can be challenged. Fewer females can be challenging sometimes. But of course, it's an opportunity for you to be seen. You will be seen more. So I like to think like challenges are opportunities.
Yeah, I also believe that challenges are opportunities. But then at the same time, we also have to look at denied opportunities to many because of these kinds of barriers that women feel. Not considering the gender can lead to blunders, and considering gender as well as the related aspects can bring in great outcomes. So that's what my lab works on. So that's I would say, as a scientist, as a researcher yourself, you would be aware of these kinds of dimensions where because women were left out or because women gender was not considered, there would be many cases of failures even in scientific discovery.
Definitely. I think that this can be kind of adjusted if the number will be equal. And starting by saying to the females, young students, that STEM is not a big wall. It can be for everyone, and they can be part of it. And as many as we were in the beginning, we will be more and more in the upper level of career. So I would love to see like more professors female, more females in leadership levels. And that can be, of course, if we increase the numbers of female students and continue charging their interests to further continue to their career.
Exactly. We need to do that continuously. Now, most of the time when we talk about STEM careers, again, another aspect to it is even women or girls currently tend to look at STEM as an entry to IT field. Mostly, information technology or computer science is what most women probably end up in. But what I am more interested is in the pure basic science research that people like you are in, and how women can actually enter into that. So how do you inspire young girls, especially if you're going to a school or a college and talking to them? What will you tell them about choosing a basic science career. Now, there is a challenge
Yeah.
with this basic science career because it's a long journey. It's not easy, unlike, unlike an IT job or something where you have a basic skill set, you can easily get a job. But this requires a commitment towards a long, many years of effort. So that's how do we inspire girls and women to actually enter into this long-term career planning?
Yeah, I found much more simple. Like if you love to do something, it becomes simpler if it's in your everyday life. I mean, what I do during the workshop that I have been part with small kids or even young pupils, I do express like lasers and light. It's everywhere we are. Uh, we are not maybe conscious, but like light is everywhere, and showing the difference between the spectrum of the bulb lamp and the laser make them more interesting. So it's simple. The barrier, I think, is that STEM is pursued like difficult. It's simple, and everything becomes even more simple if you love it, if you are interested, and if you increase your skills on it. So
Exactly.
it's a long terms, but if you love it, it's fun. I mean, every career, in order to become a professionist, it needs some terms of knowledge increase. And so, I mean, it's everywhere the same thing.
Exactly. Right. So you are
Yeah.
doing two tough things, or rather, you have done two tough things. So tell me, how did you break that stereotype and enter into the military service? And how was that experience? How did it shape up your personality?
Yeah. Well, my inspiration point was my father, and he is still, but he was now he retired, an officer in the Albanian army. So he was my inspiration point, and I wanted to be as him and to be a military personnel. So. Of course, it's like it depends on how you are, how you think. Of course, there's like it can perceive like difficult to be the only female during a parachutism course with other 21 males. You need to pass the
Wow.
same test, physical test. It
Mhm.
can sound challenging, but it's super simple if you focus yourself in your own goals and do not compare yourself with others.
Mhm. Yeah.
That has been my motto. I have always focused myself on the goals that I wanted to perceive and how to go there instead of focusing on comparing. And sometimes one feels like it's like to compare a pear and an apple, like it's two different things. While if you see yourself and if you want to increase your skills, if you want to improve or enhance your professional skills, then it will be much easier.
Mm. Right. So I think the whole journey of being in a military role would have shaped your personality, right, to a great extent. You would have developed a leadership. And is there any
Yeah.
particular skill or things competency that helps you right now as a researcher?
Yeah, definitely. Like my previous experience as a military officer has shaped me, my discipline, has fine-tuned my communication skills, stress management, and many other skills that are very unique in the military. Yeah, so yeah, definitely that experience has definitely contributed to pursue the goals of my scientific career.
Okay.
Sometimes the managing with stress management and challenging situation make
Mhm.
it easier the scientific life too. You never
Mhm.
give up.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think I somehow I had an opportunity to be a cadet myself, not on a full military, but in India we used to have we have the National Cadet Corps, which is like a
Mm-hmm.
NCC, which is a student military training. As a
Uh-huh.
young school and college student, I've got the military training, and I always feel that I have developed a lot of leadership skill, and as you rightly said, the confidence to face challenges in life that came up from that training, and it still continues.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I would definitely recommend this to all girls, some kind of a military training, especially. And I really love that, uh, when you spoke about you being one woman out of the 21 other male. I mean, what was the core area that you were working in? Was it flying, or what were the?
No, that was a kind of very, very funny and challenging experience during
Mhm,
after the first year of the academy
mhm,
training. Uh, it was the choice to do parachutism courses. So you needed
mhm.
to fly with your parachute by
Okay.
yourself.
Oh,
And this course, in order to participate to this course, then you needed to pass some physical tests. So
mhm.
we were in total three women, and from those three women, I was the only one that was with the other uh, friends and colleagues to pursue and to do this parachutism course.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
So you're already a trailblazer. Wonderful. Yeah. So now
Thank you.
let me again come back to what your future career goals are, and what do you aspire to do more in the field of STEM, as well as in the field of inspiring more girls into STEM.
Yeah, I love to inspire more females, girls, and small kids
Mhm.
that they can feel that science is for everyone, and
Hmm.
science is welcoming, and it's
Yeah.
not difficult. It's fun. So I love to do that. And as my future career, I'm the first in the first step of my next step. So in
Mhm.
first phase of my next step,
Okay.
this is my first year as a researcher. The project that I'm in is founded from Vinnova, the innovation agency in Sweden.
Mhm.
And what I would love in this year, I would love to learn as much as possible from the best in the field, Professor Michel Diquenet, and
Mhm.
learn from him both scientifically but also pedagogically, and take the best and hopefully to be a role model for other students later on.
Yeah, of course. You're already a role model. You will become double
Thank
role
you.
model.
It's thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, all right. So now let's also talk about women who pursue careers and the home front challenges. Sometimes I know you are a mother as well. What are the um, tips that you want to give to our viewers, and about, especially women, about how to balance family as well as your career aspirations?
Yeah, it's I was very lucky and privileged to have my parental leave in Sweden, and the
Mm-hmm.
difficulties that you feel as a filmmaker, or not we, but you, but I felt personally as a female, is that the speed of technology and evolution of STEM, it seems like it's super high. So you feel like you are missing something if you are not part of it for a little while. But it's not totally true. During my parental leave, I was able to enjoy it, and to take my time and come back more energized than ever. And even though the speed of the evolution of the technology is very high, still the speed of knowledge base building is not as high as the technology. So you don't be afraid to take your time, dedicate to your life, and then come back more energized than ever. So that is my advice.
That's a great advice, definitely. You also need the support system, which I think you were,
Exactly,
as you
definitely.
said, you were able to get that. Wow, that's fascinating. I'm really inspired by the works that you do, as well as your inclination towards inspiring more girls and women in the field of STEM. And what is that one learning or message that you want our viewers to take from you?
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to me. And I would love to say to all the listeners that you need to believe in your dreams. If you believe in your core values, if your life and work is aligned with the core values and with your dreams, you will always be happy. You will always have an easy work, even though it can be sometimes challenging. But strongly believe in your dreams. And if you are not in that situation yet, then try to increase the people around you with a lot of positivity. You need to have people that charge your energy and not drain it. So if you're not that yet, it means that you need to look more around you. Like, be surrounded with positive people, and every time believe in your dreams and possible.
Yay, that's so wonderful. Thank you, Enkeleda. It was amazing chatting with you. And thanks for coming for this show. And we need more and more women scientists. And of course, there have been a lot of scientists before, but probably some of them were not recognized or acknowledged. And that's what we are trying to do. We want to showcase a lot more scientists and women who achieve a lot of things in this through this show and podcast. To all the listeners, keep subscribing to this channel. You are going to meet such fascinating, fantastic, wonderful women across the globe in this channel very soon. So stay tuned for the next episode. And once again, thanks to Enkeleda for your time, as well as for inspiring our audience.
Thank you.
I wish you all the very best. I hope someday we get to interview you after winning some international awards or maybe the Nobel Prize. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sky is the limit. You never know. Thank you.
Yes.